Hey everybody, happy Friday. Welcome back for another coffee date. I wanted to pop in with you guys today and have coffee. So, cheers. I am drinking my coffee today out of this You Are Here mug from Las Vegas. I recently started collecting these about, I would say the second trip we went to Disneyland, which was last year, which was in 2015. We went to Disneyland again, and I saw the Disneyland one of these that obviously you can only buy at the Starbucks that's at Disneyland, and just loved it. It's a really pretty, it's white with like the castle and then like fireworks, and then it's blue on the inside. And so I started collecting these You Are Here mugs from Starbucks because I thought that it would just be a really fun, instead of buying like maybe a souvenir that was just going to get tucked away in a closet, or, instead of spending money on like just something kind of like tchotchke or whatever, I decided to start picking up these mugs whenever I travel to cities. And so it's kind of fun. I've been to Las Vegas several times. We actually have some family that lives in Las Vegas, but until I started collecting these mugs, I hadn't gotten one. And so we recently went to Las Vegas back in June, and so I stopped at a Starbucks before we came home so I could pick up one of these mugs from our trip. And so I have been collecting a few of them. So I have I have one from Las Vegas, Disneyland. I got one in California when we went this past summer, and I also have Chicago and Texas, when I went to Texas back in April. And so I just love them so much, and there's so many cities, like I said, that I have been to or we've lived in or whatever, that I want all the mugs from all those cities, right? And so I have to travel back to them so I can go get them and pick them up. So I actually have been to Chicago several times as well, and when my mom was recently there, she picked one up for me, so that was kind of nice and special. So anyways, that's my little story about the mugs. So if we're having coffee today, which we are having coffee, I would invite you into my home. We would sit here in my living room and just chat about, whatever's going on. So the most recent thing I want to tell you guys about is this book that I read for the month of July. I really have been trying to make it a goal to read at least 2 books a month, and I'm kind of behind that goal. I'm just a couple days ago finished this book and then started my second book for the month. So I'm hoping that I can still finish that book within the last couple days of July here. But I wanted to share with you this book. This book is called Giddy Up Eunice by Sophie Hudson. And Sophie Hudson is the author of the Boo Mama blog. If you guys are not familiar with her, this is the first book I have read of hers, and it's really good. I really enjoyed it. The tagline of the book says, "Because women need each other," and so this book is so, like, you can see kind of the pages are all crinkly. That's because I took it right here. The page got wet because I took it to swim lessons with my kids, and I was reading it every day while they were having swim lessons, and it got wet, and I took it to the pool a couple days ago, and my son sat on it with his wet swimsuit, and so it's well loved and wrinkled and whatever. Anyways, I love this book. This book goes through just different stories in the Bible, different women in the Bible who, there's stories in the Bible where there was a younger woman paired with an older woman, and she goes through these different stories in the Bible and talks about and shows how we as women need each other, and we need that camaraderie and encouragement from the older generation just as much as the younger generation needs it. And so I really loved this book. It just talks about relationships as women and how God created us and how He created us to learn from one another, glean from one another, encourage one another, and that it doesn't matter how old you are, that we each have things to learn from one another. And so I really, really liked that. There's a passage in the book that I underlined and I dog-eared it here, and I just wanted to share it with you. And I love what she says. She says, culture tells us to compete, to look out for others, but Scripture tells us to bless and to look out for each other. Neither hinders nor diminishes the assignment the Lord has given us. She's talking about those who have gone before us or people who are standing behind us, that neither one of those hinders nor diminishes the assignment the Lord's given us. If we let ourselves get sidetracked by pettiness or, heaven forbid, some good old-fashioned paranoia, we may miss the wonder of seeing how intricately the Lord has woven our stories together, how intentionally He has intersected our paths, and how beautifully our callings complement each other. And I just loved that, because I think in our world today, especially with women, there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of things that we can be doing or think we should be doing that may or may not match up with, what God has asked us to do or who He's asked us to be an influence over or around. And so I just love what she's saying about the encouragement to bless others, to pray for one another, to look out for one another, that as believers, that's what we want to do for not just our friends that are Christian, but one of the best ways that we can show Christ to those who don't know Him, to women that don't know Christ, is to, instead of competing with them, to find ways to bless them, whether you're a Christian or not. I think this is applicable. And I love talking about these things, and I love that she is addressing this very topic in this book, because my heart is so much to encourage women right where they are. If you are an avid blog reader, if you've visited my blog, the tagline is celebrate the everyday. And it's my heart to encourage women to figure out what in their everyday is worth celebrating. And it's oftentimes those everyday things and moments that are worth celebrating, worth cherishing, and living in the right here, right now, instead of wishing that you had this or could do this. Celebrate where you are right now and find joy and hope in it. And so I really, really love this book, and I highly recommend that you get it. I posted on Instagram when I first started reading this, and one of my friends who follows me on there made a comment about get ready to highlight, and she was right, because I literally highlighted, I know it's upside down, but I literally highlighted so many passages in this book, and like I said, it's really, really well loved. So if you are looking for some new reading material, pick up this book. So that's all I have for you guys today. I just wanted to share this book with you and talk to you about it and share my coffee mug with you. So I hope you guys have an awesome weekend and have a happy rest of your Friday. Bye, guys.